Do your best Jeff impression.
No, absolutely. I'm making a fool of myself.
You do an impression of me, go on.
I can't do it.
With Bronte Law and her caddy, Jeff Brighton. Now, obviously, Bronte, you love Scotland to the point that you've employed a Scottish caddy.
Yes, very much so. I think just wanted to carry, that piece of Scotland around with me.
That was the only option.
Well, you are a small piece of Scotland, Jeff. You aren't the tallest. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from, although next to Bronte I am. That's why I like working for her, because I feel tall. I from the West Coast, Best Coast, from Ayrshire. So I was brought up near Turnberry. I miss the old people, the accent, the just some of the pubs, and I suppose the food and the golf courses. Miss the golf.
What food do you miss?
Like,
please,
chippies and stuff.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
The chips.
And yeah,
of all the things,
I love a chippy right now.
Right, guys, we are gonna stop arguing about food. Normally, Bronte, I would start at the beginning of your golfing career, but I want to take it back to the pinnacle. Remember when we were allowed fans at tournaments? That was pretty cool. So we're going to go back to Gleneagles, the Solheim Cup. I wanted to get the hero of the Solheim Cup on. I messaged Petterson. She weren't that bothered. So then I messaged you, Bronte, and I thought I'll get you involved in this chat instead. So Gleneagles, tell me about it. Tell me about the hotel, the atmosphere, the golf course. It looked amazing on the television. Yeah,
I don't really remember much about the hotel. We didn't spend much time in it, really. It was, obviously a lot on the golf course, a lot of media. It's just a really full-on week. So you've got all the, dinner parties, the cocktail parties. By the time it comes around to playing golf, it's like nice that that's all taken care of. But there is absolutely nothing like stepping on that first tee in front of that amount of people and, hear them chanting your name, and just knowing that they're here to support the team and you is really special. And I think just kind of brings the best out in you.
And Jeff, you must have been pretty proud. Was this your first Solheim Cup, and it was in Scotland?
Yes, it was. Genuinely the best working week of my life. It was such a buzz. In Scotland, obviously, we have the best fans, the UK in general, but particularly Scottish fans. And
rowdy.
Yeah, and just got so into that week. I mean, anytime Europe won a hole, it was like a wall of noise that we don't normally hear each week. And
yeah, you got a bit scared at times.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. I mean, it's so fun to be around. And the hotel, the Gleneagles Hotel, is the best hotel. I mean, as caddies, we stay in quite, and we've stayed in a few dumps over the years, and sometimes we get nicer weeks. But I think we'll not talk.
Next level.
Yeah, the Gleneagles Hotel was something special, and the whole week was just honestly a thrill.
Bronte, I heard that the bar at Gleneagles Hotel, that's still got your footprint on the top of it, hasn't it?
Yeah, signed the footprints after, and they thought that they'd commemorate that moment. So made sure I left my mark there.
Normally golfers get a plaque on the golf course in the fairway. You just get a little plaque on the bar.
Oh well, that Sunday was, I think, one of the best days of golf, women's golf, but never mind golf in general. I'm sure people have probably said to you, Bronte, that the players, that was the best Solheim ever. What was it like being part of that on Sunday? I've heard you say it was like an out-of-body experience. Can you talk us through those last few holes?
Yeah, it's really weird thinking about it. Like when I watch it, I don't see it as me. It's like I can look back and see myself, but like it's hard to walk through those steps like in my mind, because it was just the most like incredible experience. The like elation that you feel in your body is just like no other. And just hearing, you know, that amount of noise when you hole a putt, like just it almost like takes over your body, you know, the whole feeling. And it's something that it really is hard to put into words until you experience it, but just the best feeling ever.
Yeah, so Bronte holes a putt on 16 to go one up, and it's the ultimate kind of match play moment. So tell me about that walk onto the 17th tee. I heard someone next to you was a bit nervous.
he couldn't add up. I'm like, what's the yardage? Give me a second. So I'm there drinking water, like, you know, acting like I'm just drinking water to calm myself down. It's to give him time to get the yardage.
I did take it, honestly, because it was like the noise would be ringing in your ear. It was something else. So yeah, I took a couple extra seconds. But,
made sure you got it right.
Yeah. But yeah, that was you know, Bronte was unbelievable that Sunday, and you know, it was such a big match to turn around. So she was it was great to watch her thrive in that environment.
Yeah, I mean, as a caddy, you must obviously know Bronte is a great player. That's why you work together. But what was it like seeing her produce the best golf when it mattered the most?
Good question. I mean, I think anyone that knows Bronte, you know, would say that she would thrive and excel in that type of environment. I think you enjoy match play a lot as well, and have done well in the past. So, and you could just tell that that she was enjoying the challenge of it, and was very confident and comfortable in that environment all week. So it makes our job as a caddy a lot easier, because you know, she was relaxed and playing well. So you know, our job's a lot easier in that situation. But yeah, it was just you know, such a buzz to be part of, and obviously you know, that Sunday was yeah.
I think the fact that we had so many matches go down towards the end, you know, obviously playing with Carlotta, and you know, seeing her hold some good putts, I'd hold some really good putts in those matches, you know, in the last couple of holes. It kind of, that resonated with me towards the end, in that, you know, we'd been there when we needed to, you know. And when you see that happen previous days, gives you the confidence that it's no different like this day, you know, as to why I can't produce and, you know, hold those putts, even given obviously the magnitude of the situation.
Yeah, it was just so good to watch. So you passed 17, Ali McDonald that was, she bogeys it. So your match is over. For me personally, I'd be thinking, right, I've got mine done now. So it moves on to Suzanne Pettersen on the 18th hole, which hasn't been the greatest hole for the Europeans, because the green there is a really good green. Where was you and what were you thinking when Suzanne Pettersen is stood over a putt to win the Solheim Cup?
So obviously I'm so pumped. I just won my match, kind of, you know, had just about enough time to hug Jeff and say like, yes, you know, we won, whatever. And then it like dawned on me, oh, there's a match ahead. And so I think it was Catherine that was with our group, and I just ran over to Catherine and I'm like, what's happening? Like, I need to know now what's happening. She's like, Suzanne's over a putt. And I'm like, for what? Like, what's going on? And then she's like, they'll put it up on the screen. So I looked right to the screen, and they're still showing Ali's putt. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to miss it. Why are they showing Ali's putt? I've just seen that. I'm just, you know. And so they then flick onto Suzanne, and she's over the putt. And obviously there's a tape delay. So I'm watching on the big screen, and a putt is halfway to the hole and I hear a roar and I drop to my knees celebrating, realizing at that point in time there's a good chance that it might not have gone in, and that was the Americans. But I mean, I just thank Suzanne for not making me look like a right idiot.
Yeah, I don't think there was anybody in that team. You wouldn't pick anyone else than Suzanne Petterson to hold that putt, and that hour of golf at the end was just magical. I don't know if we will ever get a Solheim Cup like that again, but the fact it was in Scotland, we'd seen the Ryder Cup at Gleneagles before and a European win, but to win on home soil must be so special.
Absolutely. I mean, I played in 3 Curtis Cups, and the 2 that I played in the UK, we won both of them. Obviously, you know, the Americans by far and large over the last 20 years have dominated the Curtis Cup, but the fact that I played in 2 and never lost on home soil, you know, is something that I wanted to carry on, obviously, in my professional career. And the fact that, you know, we got to do that, you know, on the biggest level in women's sport was just like a dream come true, really. And I hope that that legacy can kind of live on.
Yeah. Going back to the amateur days, you know, with your power caddy, your 36 holes, your 5-hour trip up to Scotland. You mentioned that you played Curtis Cup. That was at Nairn, wasn't it? So that was a very impressive Curtis Cup team. So tell me a little bit about being part of that team. You were quite young, team was strong, but what was Nairn like to play?
Yeah, I was like a little baby then. I mean, I look back at that and the pictures and just think of how like much I've matured since then in terms of my golf, and it was such an incredible experience. That was my first time really playing in front of like a big crowd, and you know, having my family there, and lots of Scottish relatives actually who came, and just really enjoyed obviously winning, but it was the celebration with, you know, my family there that made it so special. And you know, I think that's kind of what stuck with me, is there's nothing better than being able to celebrate with family and friends. And so if that, you know, is one of the things that spurs me on, you know, then obviously the will to win combined is a pretty good combo.
Did you like Nairn as a golf course?
Yeah, Nairn is a gem of a course. Not many people know about it. It's like there's a couple of courses up there, Castle Stewart, and you know, kind of a clump of them in that area that are very almost untouched to a lot of people in the UK, but are really enjoyable golf courses. And I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed being up there, and enjoy going back to Scotland every time I get the opportunity.
So Jeff, you're West Coast based. Your first caddying job was Turnberry, is that correct? Where else have you played and caddied?
Yes, I was a junior member and caddy at Turnberry since I was like 14 years old. And then, you know, caddied till I was about 21. Then went off and had like different careers, but then caddied at the British Open in 2015. And that was like my first kind of professional tournament. And then got brought out onto the LPGA from there, which so was very lucky in that sense, because I think to be a caddy you either have to know someone or get lucky. So yes, I caddied. I used to do the Dunhill Links Championships up in St Andrews, Kingsbarns and Carnoustie. I did that for like 3 years, which was a lot of fun. I mean, my first time caddying around St Andrews, it was like genuinely, if I was walking in this hallowed turf, I felt like I was on eggshells because I just didn't want to make the wrong step. But then having been to a number of opens at St Andrews and Carnoustie, just being on those golf courses is like it's just no better place in the world, you know. And just whether it's outside the ropes, better still when you're inside the ropes playing for fun or caddying in a golf tournament, it's the best thing ever.
I think my first event as a kid in Scotland was at St Andrews. It was like the St Andrews Junior Open or something. I remember it was match play, I lost in the final, and I cried so much. And my dad has this picture of me on the Swilcan Bridge bawling my eyes out because I'd lost, and I must have been like 10.
Right. So I've never played it, but I mean, caddied. I would love to get to play there one day.
You visually played it.
Oh yeah, in my
perfectly.
Head. Yeah, well, obviously the Open's there in a few years' time again, which for the ladies, which is exciting. But I remember going to the 2005 Open Championship at St Andrews when Tiger won. I'm the biggest Colin Montgomery fan ever, so I think Montgomery and Tiger were in the final group on the Saturday. And I was watching it with thousands of other people, but St Andrews is not the best course for spectating because it's so flat. So I remember like having to like jump in a gorse bush to see like just Tiger's foot or something like that. Just like I saw nothing. And Monty didn't win, so it was like sad day.
So Monty, what's your favourite golf course in Scotland?
That's a tough one. I do really enjoy Carnoustie. I think that it's such a great challenge. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's the kindest of golf courses, but I do think that it poses a really good challenge, and you have to play 4 really good rounds of golf to have a chance at winning any time there's a tournament there.
Jeff, what's your favourite?
Troon or Turnberry?
I knew you were going to say that.
Turnberry. Honestly, it's between those two. I love Royal Troon and Turnberry's my home. It's
Troon was class last year.
Yeah,
I mean the golf course was just pristine, wasn't it?
And Kingsbarns.
Yeah, a lot of people say Kingsbarns. I think we're quite fortunate in the women's game that we get to play it a lot.
He'll just call out random names of courses now for the remainder of this chat, so just be prepared for that.
Right, Jeff, I'm coming to your neck of the woods. I've got 3 golf courses to play, and I want to go out for a couple of drinks and a bit of food. Where should I go?
Yeah, so you should. Prestwick's great, Prestwick and Troon, the towns there, especially in the summer. Some great bars and restaurants, and along the beach as well. You can play all those golf courses as Western Gales and Dundonald, where we used to have the Scottish Open there a few years ago. So and obviously the thing about links golf is you never know what you're going to get weather-wise, but on those 2 days of the year when you get perfect sunshine and no wind, it is the best place in the world, isn't it? Playing on one of those links golf courses.
Yeah, I always say that. If Scotland, when the sun's out, there's no better place in the world. But I think that's why you go as well, because you don't mind getting the waterproofs out. You're in Scotland. That's the type of, that's links golf, isn't it?
Do you remember on one of the rounds at Troon last year, maybe Friday, it was like horrendous.
Yeah, and we were smiling.
Yeah, but you were loving it.
No,
too.
I wasn't.
Well, I was loving it. Like the clubs were soaking, but I was having a good time.
I was like, "Do you want a jacket?" And he's just saturated, and he just looked at me and smiled. And he went, "This is great." I'm just like, "Oh."
That's what you want, though. There's something fun about having those types of courses and just having all the elements
playing
thrown
them
at you
as hard as they possibly could be.
Have you played any inland courses, either of you? Because I mean, I've only played a couple. I think I played Blair Gowrie, but obviously we think of Scotland as being on the links courses. But have you played any inland?
I've played a couple in Edinburgh, like Murrayfield, just with family. Never like in a golf tournament or anything, just kind of for a laugh. But I mean, they've got loads of good courses up there. I mean, everyone plays golf, don't they?
So
nothing wrong with it.
In the summer, you're coming back to Britain. You're going to be playing the Scottish Open at Dunbarney Links, which is a brand new golf course, and then heading up to Carnoustie. So now you've told me that Carnoustie is your favourite, I will be betting on you, no doubt. But wouldn't it be nice to have fans to get out and be sociable and, by the coast, to visit all the fish restaurants, have a couple of drinks? Because that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's like you can play golf till, I think I played a British Open at St Andrews and walked off the course at like 9:45. It just stays light. It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd love nothing more than, after obviously the past year and a half being, tough on everyone in the UK and all over the world, it would be great if I could, you know, have some family out to watch, family, friends, and, you know, make it, you know, a Scottish golf event again. It's not the same without the fans, and
Yeah, you miss them.
I miss that. Yeah. So I do really hope that things are starting to get back to normal. We're both vaccinated, aren't we? So hopefully things are on the up now, and that we're coming out of you know, what has been obviously a very very tough 18 months.
Have you heard much about Dunbarney Links?
I've heard a little bit. I've only heard good things.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, people seem to be raving about it, which is you know, we're all very excited. I know that people on tour, so the players that are coming over are excited. I think they like to play new golf courses. Obviously, Dunbarney is one of the newest, and the people that I know that have played there just honestly seem to be raving about it. So pictures look incredible. Obviously, top designer and
good to play a new course, you know, not one of the, you know, obviously 15, you know, that they usually pick from that are like the bigger names. Obviously, with it being a new course, it'll be good for that course to get their name on the map.
I think Dunbarney will be. I mean, it seems like it's going to be one of the big names soon. And then obviously it's by. I mean, hopefully I don't know if we can stay in St Andrews or nearby, but just to soak up that atmosphere there, and then obviously we just go to Carnoustie's right there as well. Yeah. So it's probably the Scottish and British Open are like two of our favourite weeks of the year.
100%.
Right. Well, I'll be keeping an eye out for you both in Scotland. Now I know that you're half Scottish, Bronte, so you'll have all the fans up there now, won't you? Just let that one out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Come and do your Scottish accent.
I can't.
Come on, do it.
No, I don't have one.
Just throwing a at ours.
It's easy for you to say you are Scottish.
Well, I think she should try, Jeff. Don't you? Do your best Jeff impression.
No, absolutely. I'm making a fool of myself.
You do an impression of me, go on.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh, thanks.
My mum will be devastated.
We won't do this to you anymore. We don't want to embarrass you anymore, but thanks for sharing some of your stories, and have a good week.
Of course. Thanks, Sophie.
Cheers, Sophie.
Thanks for watching my chat. What a funny pair those two are. A great partnership both on and off the golf course. Now, if you want to visit Scotland and play some golf up there, head to Your Golf Travel.